Uh-oh, look up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
No, it is neither one of those things. It is... See, we jump ahead too soon. Gotta wait for it. The movie review extravaganza!
The review extravaganza!
And some people said, no, it's just another dumbass in a dumbass costume. Somebody said it looked like they took a shit on your head.
Did they?
No, I said
That shit.
I'm one of your super critiques tonight. Corey Coleman. Martin Thomas.
Yes.
Over here. Martin Luther, Lex Thomas? I don't know. I'm trying to give you something. Hey, take your hat off.
Okay, all right.
You bald-headed, see that? Villain!
I'll get you soon.
What is your problem with me, Thomas?
You filthy alien. You think you better than
illegal
everybody?
Oh, come on, man. I got my cape on, bro.
That is not a cape.
Yo, watch out.
It's Super Grover.
No, not even that. No, that's what you put on when you were 8 years old trying to play Superman. That's what you pulled out when you dried off from taking a bath.
Yeah, you see the tag still.
Yeah, there it is. T-Move Superman.
Oh, man.
This right here, boy.
Now, there you go.
Hey, Jim. Whoa. Excuse me. That's a bad outfit.
Hey, he likes it. That brother knows.
Say, Jim. Whoa.
I'll be back for your black ass later. Yeah.
Well, he ain't getting no smile. Yeah.
No.
I'll be back for you.
You stay right there.
Yeah, I see what you got going on here.
He should. He gave him the point.
He gave the point.
I'll be back for you and them hoes later on. So y'all know, I love me some Batman. Batman is up there with my favorite superheroes, if not my favorite superhero. But you can only hang around with a depressing person for so long, man. You can only listen to somebody whine about their dead mom and daddy for so long, man.
Or being all grim and dark.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
all right, give it a rest.
Yeah, you can only hang out in the nighttime so many times. Dude, can we do something today? Can we go to lunch? Get some coffee? Yeah, no.
I think you crippled that guy.
He's not going to walk again.
Yeah, man. You know, that's when you say, hey, look, I'm going to hang with Superman. You know, this dude's just a little more, I don't know, positive.
Sunny over there.
Yeah, plus Metropolis. I mean, it's got crime, but they got sun.
Yeah. They got a nice subway.
Yeah. So as much of a Batman fan as I am, I love Superman. Don't talk about Superman a whole lot, but as I said, when we did our retro review, Superman means the world to me. I love Superman. Superman was my first big blockbuster superhero movie. So I go deep with Superman. I grew up watching the cartoons, grew up watching the TV shows, grew up with listen, when it came to underoos, I wasn't with this dude. I was a straight up Superman underoos person. I had the red drawers on, that blue shirt.
Well, until 1989, and nobody wanted to be Batman.
That's true.
Because they had that show from the 60s that was goofy.
Yeah. When you grew up, man, everybody thought Batman was cool. Everybody loved Batman, but everybody wanted to be Superman. Everybody pulled... Your mama couldn't buy no red bathroom towels because you take that and put that on every day, trying to be Superman, messing it up, jumping off the roof, trying to fly.
Like right there.
Yeah, like this old raggedy thing right
Come
here.
on, bro. The money ain't too bad, right?
Oh, it's very bad. Okay, how many times they try to put Superman on there? No, I know. I'm a nitpicky kind. I use some of the derogatory words. I'm a nitpicker. Okay, hard R when it comes to Superman. Love the 1978 Christopher Reeves. He's the perfect Superman. He's the perfect Clark Kent. That movie it's got flaws, but a masterpiece. So from that point on, I just being the Superman nitpicker that I am, I cannot in good conscience say that there was a Superman that lived up to that of 1978.
Okay, maybe not lived up to, but you like the Superman from the TV show, the most recent one where he has the family.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
I thought it was doing a good job.
I think that actor Tyler Heckner, I think he did a good job.
Yeah, no, I like that show a lot. Yeah, so I guess I'm just kind of putting more emphasis on movies.
Okay.
Right
All
there.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
He wants
'cause
the big screen.
Yeah. TV is cool, but it's TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want that
Okay.
glorious IMAX great Superman again.
Okay. All right.
My man can fly, but don't look too cool when it's on a TV screen.
All right.
It's like, I want that IMAX experience. So that's why I was happy when James Gunn said, you know what? I hear y'all, man. We've had on the big screen some very depressing, sour, dour, emo, just getting on my goddamn nerves, Superman. I tell you, what happened to that Superman that gave us hope? What happened to that Superman that stood up for truth and justice? And at one time, the American way.
Yeah.
But we need that man now. We need Superman now. And so looking at this trailer for Superman, if you want to put 2025 on there, cool. But I looked at this and I said, man, you know what? This looks cool. My man is not afraid to wear. I had to take this one to wear his underwear on the outside.
Mhm.
Now that's a real vote of confidence right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's more confident.
Isn't nobody gonna say shit?
Yeah.
I wish somebody would say some shit. See if you gonna get saved. Shit.
And don't say you wait for him to walk off because he's gonna hear that.
Right.
You say that stupid ass underwear. What you say?
Like, wait.
I heard that. Super hearing.
In the Homelander real quick.
I'll laser your ass. Yeah. But he did say, I want to make a more hopeful Superman. I want to make a Superman that has a sense of humor, a Superman that can charm people, but also have a little humility about himself. A guy that just really wants to be not a Superman of the people, but just a man of the people. Right there.
Who actually wants to help people and do the right thing.
Yeah.
That sounds like Superman.
Yeah. Well, it sounded like Superman for the last 5 times they tried to do it and didn't work out, or however they did it. So, hey, did they get it right this time? And again, Superman, Man of Steel, and all that kind of stuff, they have their fans, but I mean, I think we all agree. We're looking for that nice boy. That dude that really looks like he comes from some country ass town.
Yeah.
Just goody. Let's go ahead and see if James Gunn can get this right. And we're going to watch the trailer and we'll be back with our reviews.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Like the way they hit the camera. There's a cameraman who's missing eyes. Teeth went in there.
His lens.
You owe me, Superman.
Okay, let me start out by saying something very important that you need to know before you step into this movie. And this might not be a surprise to anyone at all, but it needs to be said. This is definitely James Gunn's Superman.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
Now, I know a lot of people say, we know. We've been hearing about him directing this movie for how long? No, listen to me. This is James Gunn's Superman, which means it leans on a lot of humor. Not just humor, his humor.
Mm.
So, and I'm saying this because for some people, that's awesome. And for some people, they're like, God damn. Some people, that's not going to be a good thing. I think that alone, I feel, is going to divide a lot of people because, this movie, with his humor in it and his style, the way I see it, it's not just the most comic book Superman that we've had probably since the first movie or ever. It's a cartoon. A lot of jokes, a lot of bright colors, a lot of colorful and wild characters. There's a lot of things in here with no big explanations at all. When they go to the Fortress of Solitude, Superman has his super robots taking care of him. And they're funny robots. They're cracking jokes the whole time. I wish I had a name, just not number 4. Oh my God, he looked at me. They crack jokes the whole time. Lex Luthor released a mini dragon, looked like a Pokemon, to Metropolis. grows up to be Bowser, you know? So it's like there's no explanation for that.
It started out as Stitch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no explanation for that, man. Movie don't say where it came from. Superman just needs something to fight for a cool fight scene right there. And Superman, he's even more laid back. He's probably the least serious Superman that we've had in a long time. I mean, you can actually see that from the trailer.
Hey! Quit messing around!
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Superman back in the day would be like, just give me a breath. I'll be right there. No, man, I'm not messing around. I'm doing stuff. He's a dude.
Yeah.
He even calls Krypto, hey, dude. He says that several times. Now, some people, they're going to hate that. That's what I mean by this is James Gunn's Superman. But I listen, if you ask me, he's a dude, but I think he's a good dude. He wants to help people so bad that the character is not sure of himself. The way he does.
Let them die.
Look, we got Superman moments like that, and when we saw the trailer, we thought, oh yeah, this is vintage Superman. That's old-fashioned Superman. But no, man, the way this guy David
Cornsweat, yeah,
he plays him very unsure. He plays him in a way where he seems like he lacks a little confidence sometimes.
Yeah, every Superman we've had ever has always been very confident about what they were doing. And always like, I have everything under control. That's okay. I'll be back for you. Or he's the angry Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Nobody loved me.
What'd you say about my mama?
David Cornsweat, his portrayal, he's like you say, he's a dude. He's a guy. He's not completely sure of himself. He's also not. This is the most vulnerable Superman. Like physically, he doesn't seem to be invulnerable. Yeah. He gets hurt a lot, and emotionally, like he gets upset about internet trolls. His image. He's like, hey,
I would admit that. Listen, regardless of what I think about this movie, I love one part of this because I said,
I love it too.
Me and Superman have the same problem.
Yeah.
Because I was upset about people talking about me online. I was like, oh man, Superman's going through the same thing. Yeah. We're like brothers. Yeah, he lets things get to him. The trailer shows him in a very confident way, but he lacks confidence just a little. And you know what I like about that? I think because it keeps this Superman very humble.
Mm-hmm.
Because they say it in the movie, he's possibly the most powerful being on Earth. And for somebody who's the most powerful being on Earth, he's really down to earth. Regardless of all these powers that he has, which this dude could crush the planet if he wants to. But he's so humble because he's sensitive about, I just want to be like y'all.
Yeah.
I don't want to be superhuman. I just want, I do, but I also want to be, human.
I got this. I'm here to help people.
Yeah. Yeah, man. He wants to be accepted by humans so bad. This version of Superman. And, that's kind of what I want to see in this Superman. After having all these Superman that are angry and confident and sometimes even emotionless, I'm like, man, at his core, what we're seeing here really is kind of Superman. He wants to do good. He wants to help. And he also wants to be, hey, I'm just like you, even though we're like, no, you're not. It works for Cornsweat's performance, I think, because David Cornsweat, I don't feel like he's actually grown into the character yet. And like for this version of Superman, I think that helps. I think he still needs to grow into the part. But if it's a more lighthearted Superman that you've been looking for, then I would dare say that probably David Cornsweat, as far as being a humble, lighthearted, very just good to the core Superman. This is the best Superman I think we've had since Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, I think so. His range of emotions and that we get all this and he's relatable. He is very, very relatable.
Yeah.
And we, this movie, it's unlike any other Superman franchise, it's not an origin.
Not at all.
This movie is like, listen, you've been seeing Superman your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff here. Maybe you've been reading the comics. Hopefully you have. You know some of this already. If you don't, just try to catch up because we're not going back. And yet, without being an origin story, they do a lot with having him be. It feels like he's very young in his career, and we see a lot with his parents, and so it's not an origin story, but it is an early story. So you're still getting a feel of that.
Yeah. And there's another thing that I noticed with this, and I don't know if maybe you guys would disagree, but I also think it's important that you get Clark Kent right, which I think he does. I would say that he's probably closer to Christopher Reeves as Clark Kent than he is as Superman.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, I think he's a great Superman, but I also thought he was a really good Clark Kent.
Yeah,
but the movie's very light on Clark Kent.
Yeah. You don't get a lot of Clark Kent.
Yeah, at least the Clark Kent that you see at the Daily Planet, because when he's around Lois, even as Clark Kent, he's dropping the act. We only get a few glimpses of him at his actual job at the Daily Planet.
So this guy just flew into Midtown and started attacking people, demanding for Superman to show up?
I think it's pretty obvious the goal was kicking Superman's ass.
So he didn't completely kick Superman's ass.
I think he does a good job with both. I would love to see more Clark Kent, but the movie, it's fine. I mean, it's not, that's not the focus. There's there's no real need to really stay on Clark Kent. But when he does it, I think it's really cool.
The movie never really addresses that though. Like he leaves after that. He never comes back to the Daily Planet.
He does at one point later.
Oh, he does?
Later on in the
okay.
movie. Yeah. Again, it's not long. That's
yeah,
what
it's
you
not long
probably
at all.
remember.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think the cartoon feel is going to work for everyone here. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, as much as I'm praising things here, the movie is very frantic. Sometimes uneven, but I think it still kind of keeps its edge because it really does play up the fantastical, fun, cartoony part, and I think to a good effect. But also sometimes it can keep its edge because it wants to appeal to some adults by talking about the complicated issues with Superman.
Sure, yeah.
They don't skim over that.
No.
Superman can't. The movie opens up with him fighting another flying dude, and Lois is grilling him about that, talking about there's ethics to this. You just can't fly up into another country.
Yeah.
Start doing things.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was trying to save people. It's like, there's more to it than that. And you see this mess you got yourself into, right?
Yeah. There's a whole thing where the people they're thinking, well, if this guy can just fly in any country, do what he wants to, it's kind of making people worried about Superman a little bit. Again, we're early on before people really start loving Superman universally.
Yeah. Right. But the whole time I'm like, y'all not thinking this through, because if you harass him too much, he's gonna be like, okay, fine, I'm taking over. How about that?
y'all want to keep on talking shit, huh? All right, I'll show y'all. Yeah, that's I think those issues keep the movie. See, there's a difference between being a kiddie film and a cartoon and just being childish. And these issues where they get into the complicated. They get into the complicated issues of not just Superman, but also the movie sets up that this is a world full of metahumans, and there's politics with that, and we got to learn how to handle these people and live with them. So just because you got powers don't mean that you can do what you want, even if it's for a good deed, because you're just another flying vigilante now. And I think that was a really cool part of the movie. As far as the cartoon parts go, listen, I think those are some of the best parts of the film. Y'all know I love Krypto.
Oh man,
y'all know y'all heard me talk about Krypto.
Everybody loves Krypto, and he's cute, but he's a little asshole.
Oh, definitely.
He get annoying at some point too.
Man, I got home and I said, "Damn, girl, you better be glad you ain't like Krypto. You bit the pound quick." This is my little Krypto right here, and she is much more well behaved than this dog right here.
Yeah.
Man,
But what's that?
I was like, Krypto's just making things worse.
Krypto's an asshole, man, but I like that because the thing with Krypto is that Krypto is a dog.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They're not trying to hide that Krypto is out of control. The dog's a little asshole, man. He's every new puppy you brought home. That tears your house up. And the movie embraces that. It doesn't hide it. They even give an explanation for it, which I won't say here. But But I will show you this part right here. Like Superman, he leaves that dog for about an hour at the Fortress of Solitude, and he tore that fortress up.
Superman robots, I thought I told you to keep an eye on him.
We feed the canine, but he is unruly. And he realizes we are not flesh and blood and couldn't, in our heart of hearts, care less whether he lives or dies.
So even the robots don't like him.
Well, what I love is that, because we are so used to Krypto being that loyal companion.
Yeah.
And this Krypto is not that. He's like a real dog. Like you say, a new puppy that's tearing everything up.
Yeah.
And you think that, well, at some point he'll come around.
Hell no. He like that the whole film.
And the film knows how bad his little ass is. So they always put moments in there to make you go like, because at first she's like, man, you need to control that goddamn dog. And then you sit back like, oh, because
I know.
Yeah, because Krypto, out of all his faults, he has one great quality, and that is, well, he's kind of cute and he's very loyal.
Stop, Krypto, leave it. Ow, stop.
Man, that's every time your dog tore something up and you were mad, and then they made that whine and they gave you those big eyes. And I'll tell you, man, there's a moment in the movie where Krypto and Superman, they have this big fight, and they show a little bit of it in the trailer. They have this huge fight in the movie, and it's a thrilling fight, man. What's that shot where he knocked that man's teeth out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a scene where he's doing that. In that scene, he's fighting with Krypto, and man, there's that scene that he's fighting with Krypto. Man, that made me feel like a kid again. I had the biggest smile on my face when Krypto is bad, but my man is there when you need him.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of times Krypto was truly the VIP and came in for some last minute saves. I love that. I love that. And there it is. You can even see with Krypto where he comes in, man. You like, here, boy, and Krypto's like, yeah, I got your back.
Here you go, boss.
Yeah, I love that, man. So Krypto for me did not disappoint. For anybody's going to see that damn dog in the movie, I think you're going to have a really good time with his scenes in the film. I don't know what y'all feel about Krypto or anything.
Oh, everything you said. He got by with his super cuteness. Yeah. And his loyalty, but he never stopped being chaotic, and I love that about him.
Yeah, I did too, man. There's so many scenes where Superman's like, stop, quit, stop. That dog does not listen.
Yeah, where you're like, we are in danger right now. Could you give it a rest?
Like, so I don't care.
Superman is a lot of times where he's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Very vulnerable. And, and I really like that about the film because there's a lot of things going on in the film where that part where I'm saying it's too much. Those parts where I'm saying that, like there might be too much going on, those parts actually kind of come in at the right moments when Superman really is down and out.
Yeah. Well, previously, every Superman we've seen, he handled everything himself. And he was so powerful, he handled everything himself. Yeah. And it's not till the third act when Luthor, somebody's pulling out kryptonite, and then that's when he goes down. But here, he's not able to handle everything himself. And he has friends, or at least associates that come in. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, so this is like this. It's a more, I guess, cohesive world where it's not, just one. It's up to one man and only I.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, everybody's got to pitch in.
No, he's got a lot of friends that come in to help, like Hello Fresh right there.
I was wondering why you had that look on your face.
You can't go out and be having super fights and doing super things without a good meal, man. With Hello Fresh, we got to stop and give a word to our sponsor right now, which is Hello Fresh, as you can tell. And the thing with Hello Fresh is a lot of you are like me. You don't have time to cook, but you want to eat healthy. So either you need to cut back on your grocery time. Like, you probably saying, man, I could eat better if I just had to go buy all those damn ingredients out there. But if somebody delivers them to the door, nice and fresh. Hey. Ooh, hey. Now you're talking. Yeah. Or even better, what if the meals were just heat and eat? I just pop them in ready to go. Well, HelloFresh, they got you on all that. This summer, HelloFresh has made it easier to enjoy delicious and healthy and homemade quality meals with their new ready-made meals. You know, before, and they still do this, you have to cook your meals, but now what if you just want to pop it in and be on the go? They can do that too. Oh, choose from 60 recipes every week, including prep and bake and ready-made meals, and plus 100 plus market items to add on to breakfast, lunch, snacks, and more. And as I said, HelloFresh, they use high-quality ingredients, including seasonal fresh produce, proteins, and they travel right from the farm to your doorstep. Very easy to put together. Hey, look, your mouth is already watering. You're hungry. All you got to do is get this delivered to your door. But before you do that, let me get you this deal right here to make it even more delicious. Sign up for HelloFresh at HelloFresh.com/double-toasted10FM and get 10 free meals with the free item for life. Did you say for life? Yeah, I did. For life. 1 per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only, and it varies by plan. I want to thank HelloFresh for sponsoring this portion of the show, my heroes, and my bigger heroes out there, all of you who support and make it possible to do what we do. All right, let's get back into the review. So it's called Superman, but as we were saying, there's a lot of friends up here. This really is Super Friends.
Yeah.
If any of you have ever watched Super Friends, the cartoon before, it's Superman because he's the focal point of most of it, but it really is a Super Friends movie. Because he shares this movie with a lot of characters. You know, it's because this is a world building movie, really. And yes, there's a lot going on, and as I said, almost too much because there's a lot of subplots. You know, like I said, it has a political theme. You know, Lex is helping the leader of a foreign country invade another country for reasons that we won't mention right now. But if you see the movie, you'll know.
I mean, it's a thinly disguised Palestine and Israel.
It really is, and that's why people. Those two countries are fiction in the movie, and they're in the comic book. But people, that's Israel and Palestine. With bullshit. And a lot of people are going to make this political and hate the movie.
Fox is already like, woke Superman,
super woke.
He's pro immigrants, which was like, why is that a thing? Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, somebody even said he's got
MS-13 on his cape.
MS-13 on his cape. Just stop. All right? Y'all ain't gonna defeat Superman, Fox News, okay? I'm sorry.
Fox just bored.
No, y'all looking for something. Maybe you should start the immigrant thing a little bit more. Which is bullshit, by the way. Nobody's even listening to that.
Yeah. Well, he is an immigrant.
That's the thing. He is an immigrant.
He's the greatest immigrant ever. Yeah. He's from another planet.
Yes.
And Fox News like, no.
And he came here and he does good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And only an asshole wants to get rid of it.
And I'm going to tell you something. These damn Mexicans bring in more money than Superman. I think they put in more work than Superman. Those are real super people.
Well, yeah, think about it. Because Superman destroying buildings and shit.
Yeah. And who's putting them back together? Mexicans. But you know, it's a lot for a movie that's already stuffed. And it can get uneven sometimes. But it does all tie together. And even though you have a list of supporting characters that's kind of long, each character gets a moment.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time with Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific
and a Green Lantern.
Green Lantern, man.
Yeah.
These are not glorified cameos. These are not people come in and give a one-liner and then they get out. They offer real contributions to the film. Yeah. And they have fun personalities.
They do. Yeah.
And especially when they're working together. Because I love how a lot of these superheroes that we have here in the supporting cast, how they work together and they clash. And they even lose patience with Superman. Because Superman always wants to save. And some of them are saying, look, you got to kill something or somebody. God damn it.
Superman today.
Yeah, one dude even rolled his eyes because Superman was like, well, we don't have to kill. And he's like, man, brother, come on.
This guy.
Yeah. Now look. And they even, and some people like, because they think Superman ain't killing, they think all superheroes do that. And
hell no.
Don't kill. And some of these superheroes got to say, look, I ain't Superman, all right?
Right.
That got me effed up.
Yeah. Don't make me come after your ass. Shit'll get real.
There is something with that where it's like a transition from that. I was like, what the
Yeah. Yeah, he's always trying to be humane, and one dude's like, come on, man. Yeah. But I think I really love Superman the movie, but man, I think my favorite is Guy Gardner. Nathan Fillion.
I didn't know how you're going to feel about Guy Gardner, because at first I thought he was going to be too goofy, but the longer it went on, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion, who plays Guy Gardner. Man, imagine like some dude from Jersey.
Yeah.
Who was all of a sudden a superhero, but still was kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Man, and just like an asshole from Jersey, thinks everything he does is cool. Like nobody can tell him to cut that stupid haircut. Get rid of that stupid haircut.
Man.
Yeah, there's 38 females who disagree. Like, no, stop lying.
Yeah. How much you paid him?
Man, he's kind of a smart ass, but his intentions and heart is in the right place. I loved him, man.
He writes Guy Gardner real well, because a lot of people have written Guy Gardner over the years, and they make him such an asshole. You're like, why would he even be a Green Lantern?
Yeah.
but he's competent.
Yeah, he's got that Dumb and Dumber haircut. Yeah, and now he's competent but overconfident.
Yeah.
He just thinks of the dumbest things. And there's you'll notice there are some Easter eggs in the movie with these team of people. I won't say, but you'll see. And when you do, it's kind of fun. You said Mr. Terrific, man.
I thought he's gonna be your favorite character.
I love Mr. Terrific. He's up there with Guy Gardner, I think. I love this team. It's just Guy Gardner just made me laugh because he just like you say, he's competent, but he just says and does a lot of dumb things.
Yeah.
Just that he wears hypno glasses. They make his face look different in your brain when he wears them, so that you don't know who he is.
Yes, I know this.
So you know he's Clark Kent.
Why does he dress
I don't know, man. That dude just made me laugh so much. But man, Mr. Terrific, who's played by Edie Gathegi, he has so many scenes, and man, he has some of the best moments. He has some of the funniest lines. Man, they got one great action sequence with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that action sequence, if you want to criticize it, is doing what James Gunn always does. He sometimes sets fight scenes to pop music or rock music.
Yeah. I mean, if I had any major criticism of the movie, it'd be the needle drops and that they were so loud, and it was just like I just felt like we don't have to do this every time.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, James Gunn way.
I know.
I'm just used to it.
I know. And I just thought, when I watch this again, I might go to a regular theater where it's not blasting the music so loud.
Oh, it was loud during that scene.
I thought that these characters would take away from Superman. I thought that they would kind of overcrowd the movie, but instead, you already get a sense of how this universe is starting to come together in one movie.
In one movie, yeah.
It's done well for one movie. None of these characters feel rushed. Mm-mm. They feel already naturally established, and the world is already dealing with metahumans, as I said. So it feels like this world is already kind of coming together. And the characters don't feel like they're trying to head to the next movie or have their spinoff, and they're not trying to have some Avengers moment.
Right.
They're just playing their parts.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's got an important part to play in the story. And when they first come on, it just seemed like a gimmick cameo. But the fact that they were actually, real characters throughout the movie made a big difference.
Again, in one movie, I got to give credit to James Gunn, man. He's done a great job at just setting up this universe with one film. And I got to tell you, this one movie alone, for me, feels already more natural and better than anything they've done. The damn DCEU or whatever.
Zack Snyder.
That DCFU or whatever, man. Yeah.
But it also works with the things that James Gunn has done before. It feels like it integrates with Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and Creature Commandos.
It's all this stuff is naturally clicking together at this point, man. I'm so glad that he's on this. I really am. You got your OGs, you got your old familiars, you got your old standby players here. Lois Lane, who's played by Rachel Brosnahan. Man, she's a very good Lois Lane.
She's very good.
She's Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
Very much, man. She got that independent, take charge attitude. Spunkiness is what she's got. Look at you can already tell. Look at that attitude. Just by that lip right
She's got attitude, but most Lois Lanes have been bitches. And she's just more like independent and has an attitude.
And she everything that you see with her makes her, you feel like she is a great reporter. But they feel like they're doing a throwback to Margot Kidder without doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff that feels like they're going back to Christopher Reeves with Superman and Clark Kent, but not too much. They're still making it their own.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. It's definitely got its own feel.
Yeah. And as I said, Jimmy Olsen, a player. Let him play on, player, pimp. Jimmy Olsen's a pimp.
Sometimes he pimping too hard.
Yeah, man. Ladies love Jimmy. That's how he gets his scoops. Right?
Oh, I can't tell you where I got this one from.
Got him in the drawers. And look at he know too. Yeah. But man, I say one of the best for last. Your boy Nicholas Hoult is an excellent Lex Luthor, man. Did you not like him?
Oh yeah. I was wondering why you wait so long to talk about it.
Because I think he's one of the best things in the movie.
No, he is because he's somewhat funny, but he's full of menace.
Yeah, I think he's. Go ahead.
Well, you're just like, man, you were just poisoned inside and out.
Yeah, he's typical Lex Luthor. He's smug, overconfident, got a lot of attitude, but at the same time, he feels like a threat. He's very cold.
Oh yeah,
he's very unpredictable sometimes what he'll do. He had for a lot of the movie, he has the upper hand on Superman, big time.
Yeah. I mean, you say a lot of the movie. I say 85 to 90%.
Oh boy, Superman's like, how the is he doing this? Yeah, he's cool, man. But the thing is, it's such a strong performance by Nicholas Hoult because this Lex Luthor has passion from hate.
Yeah.
Like his passion is to hate Superman. He hates him so much he's crying sometimes. There's a couple times he just cries hard because he hates Superman so much.
And he has no compassion for anyone.
No, he really does not.
Superman.
Yeah. You talk bad about me online.
Oh yeah, you did. No, I think he's the most evilest Lex Luthor we've ever seen in live action.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you say overconfident, but not really. I mean, he can back up everything.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. The only thing is overconfident people, they play themselves at some point. But boy, I gotta tell you, and I don't know if this is I don't know if this is a criticism or not, but Jonathan and Martha, boy, Mom, Pa, Kent, boy, they really are Mom and Pa. They might have been just a little too country for me.
Well, that's the thing. It's always been Superman grew up in Kansas on a farm.
Yeah, that's what
I was like, man, they never show his parents to be hicks or rednecks.
Boy, they are straight up rednecks. I thought they might have been brother and sister.
They might be.
Boy, they act like they're inbred sometimes.
Oh my God.
Man, because at least Pa, Jonathan Kent, at least he shows some emotion. He has a really great scene with Clark, man. But Ma seemed a little touched, right? Is that you, Clark? Because she never seems happy to have you. You back, Clark? You on the TV box again? I'm like, God damn. Boy, y'all country as hell. I guess the climax is where I would be the most critical because I would say it's in the climax that they start to do things that they do in every other superhero movie that I think is now become. This is becoming a trope that we're gonna make fun of this in years.
Yeah.
Where they, all right, we gotta tear up the city again. We gotta have buildings crash again. And I'll give them credit this time. At least Superman's trying to keep them from crashing.
Trying to keep them from crashing, and everybody's like they evacuated the city, so. I know.
Yeah, listen. That's just me. I'm tired of this. It's what every comic book movie feels obligated to do now. We got to tear up the city. We got to knock these buildings over like damn Jenga blocks. And I'm just, it's a trope that I'm getting tired of. I wish somebody would figure a way around that.
It's almost like if you have Superman, you have to show him lifting a building. That's just part of the
Superman,
contract.
right?
No, and I don't mind that. I'm talking about like it's a climax because the climax. They got they pile on so much and everything gets resolved in about 15 minutes. They got about 3 major world-ending things happening, and they get resolved in about 15 minutes. I know we got to get the movie over with, but again, I don't think they needed to do all that much. But there's some great fight scenes near the end. Like I said, some stuff with Krypto that's awesome. And like I said, man, at least Superman instead of that damn Henry Cavill Superman. I love his look. I love the potential of that Superman, but he didn't give a by tearing up Metropolis.
Well, I mean, he wasn't raised like that shit.
I guess that's true.
You see his dad, bro? You remember his dad in the movie?
Yeah.
Maybe you should have let that kid die.
Don't help nobody.
There's a busload full of kids. So
I don't care. This Superman, he tries to, he does his best
To save people.
man.
Yeah.
Like when a building's crashing, at least he's keeping them from hitting the ground sometimes.
It don't even matter if you're a human, a dog, or even like a goddamn like squirrel. He's trying to save you.
Yeah.
Man, that is true.
I'm like, that is Superman at the end of the day.
Man, that is so true. Superman will save a ladybug if it's in trouble. Superman is there's a point where he's trying to he's not budging until the dog is saved. It ain't even Krypto.
Mhm.
It's somebody else's dog.
Move, you stupid dog.
Get out of here. Hey, man. Hey, I
was trying to help you.
Hey, I had this. Yeah, so man, I was accepting this for the lighthearted tone, the very comic cartoon feel, and it takes me back to my cartoon days, my Saturday morning cartoon days of watching superheroes. That ending leaves something to be desired for me, but man, I loved a lot of this movie. So, I'm gonna give this a extremely low full price, very high matinees in between one of those things. But I enjoyed myself. Would I say it's great? No. And I'm not going to even dare compare it to the 1978 movie because
it's such a different animal.
That's an origin movie.
Yeah.
It's a product of its time too, where you got to realize that, it was the first to do a lot of things. So I'm not even trying to compare it to that. This movie, look, we get different versions of these superheroes all the time. This is the newest one, and I like it. So yeah, I'd probably go I'll decide by the time we're in here, but a very, very high matinee or a low full price. But I enjoyed myself very much. I had such a good time.
Yeah, me too. It's a very enjoyable movie. I mean, unless you're a Snyder bro. Because
they going crazy online.
They're going to go nuts. Because, it's going to be like, this is too goofy and we should have had more of this. And it's not going out of its way to not be the Zack Snyder movie, but it's so not. It's not any of the other Superman movies we had. Because, yeah, it's not an origin and we're fully playing his world. And it is more, it's maybe the most comic book movie that's ever existed, and that it takes so much from the comics, and it depends on you to kind of know a lot of this stuff, or if not know, be willing to go for it. I mean, go along with it. But there's just so much here. That's the thing I keep thinking back to this movie is that, man, it's so much, but there's so much to enjoy on different levels. And yeah, I don't know that it's a slam dunk because it's not that movie that everybody's gonna love. Matter of fact, like even the more I was watching, I stayed away from a lot of trailers, but the more I watched, it hit me that it's like everybody's not gonna love this movie. and watching it with some of the stuff like that giant Bowser that he's fighting, I thought that too, but it'll be too goofy for some folks, but
it's very comic book.
Yeah, it's very comic book.
It's like it's torn up from a comic book page.
Yeah, all of that is. It's just a matter of like, well, listen, if you go into this and you got your idea of what a Superman movie is supposed to be and you're rigid, yeah, you might not have a good time. But if you're not if you're not somebody like that who can say like, hey, let me, come on its level, you'll have a great time. And yeah, I think it's a full price movie.
Yeah, I would say my introduction to Superman was Man of Steel, Zack Snyder. So that's how I kind of thought Superman was supposed to be.
No.
I know. I started doing research after the fact, like years later, and I was like, hold on. I had to rewatch Man of Steel. I was like, that's not Superman. So I've been waiting for years for them to actually do a really good Superman and depict him right. And that's what James Gunn does, man. I love the fact that this is not an origin story, y'all. I absolutely love that. You were absolutely thrown into a fight. Like, you get there, he's just getting his ass kicked, like, off the bat. So I'm absolutely loving that. Man, the dude that plays Superman, David, what's his last name one more time?
Corn Sweat.
At first, I didn't think he was made for the role. Like, at first, I thought he'd be, like, a little too cheesy, like, a little too cartoony. But as the movie went along, I feel like he was owning that Superman role. I feel like this role was actually made for him. So big kudos to him. One of my favorite actors, Nicholas Hoult, man, I knew he was going to bring it.
Of course.
I already knew he was going to bring it. Everything I see him in, I love him in. And here, like I said earlier, man, this to me was like one of the most scariest Lex Luthors, one of the most evil Lex Luthors you'll probably see. You're going to walk out this movie absolutely hating Nicholas Hoult. I promise you.
You know what? I loved him, man. No, he's a bad guy and I hate what he does, but I loved him, man.
Okay, yeah.
But you're right.
I hated him, but I love the actor.
Yeah, you're right.
Another thing, man, that James Gunn did so well was that, and this is something I feel like that's very hard to do. You have a character, Superman, that's like one of the most strongest beings ever, right? And for a lot of the movie, his back's against the wall. Like, and he's losing, like, not even like in physical fights, but also like politically too. You know what I'm saying? There's some moments where he's like, damn, I don't know. Like, so I'm like, how is they gonna be able to write him out of all that? And they do it. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to James Gunn for even like attempting to do some stuff like that.
I just felt, as colorful as the movie is, it felt like it was a little desaturated. It felt like when I was looking at the trailers, I was saying this. It felt like the colors were muted a little bit. There are parts where it's very bright, and it feels a little flat to me. It almost feels like some scenes were, and that's not this bad, but just an example. Like they could still use some color correction. They could boost up the colors a little bit, but that's just my taste.
I thought that's like the cartoon feel of it.
I mean, it could be. Like I said, it's just me. You know, and a lot of people, some people don't notice it, some people not. Like some people gonna like this, some people gonna love it, and the people that don't, I really understand why you don't. Like you said, everybody's gonna come in with their version of Superman, and you probably have some very valid complaints as to why you feel like you do. So you know, it's gonna appeal to who it appeals to, like this man here.
Yeah, I actually like the colors in the movie. I'll tell you guys this, man. Like y'all said earlier, this Superman, he's very, very vulnerable. Man, there was some points in the movie where I was kind of thinking about Training Day, Denzel. Like, you know how there's like the point where everybody just has to turn on him.
He's
like, y'all gonna do this to me? That's what I was thinking. But look, if y'all have been waiting for a really good Superman movie, this is the one, man. James Gunn, he grew up reading comic books. And it shows watching this movie. You could tell he absolutely loves Superman. He loves the whole DCEU, or what am I doing with this? DC universe. So I'm gonna get a high full price.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I mean, damn. I was going between very high matinee and low full price. So I ain't gonna be the bad guy here. I can't be the bad guy dressed like Superman. So I'll give it a low full price, but a full price all around.
Yeah,
man. I really do think that this is probably the best Superman movie for me since the Christopher Reeve Superman.
I also think because it's packed with so much stuff, it'll be better on the second watch.
Yeah, I'm going to see it again.
Yeah, I was thinking about today, and I was like, man, I really want to see some parts of this again. I had such the biggest smile on my face watching parts of this movie, and I can't wait to see how the other characters start to actually fill out this universe, man. Yeah. And I haven't felt that way about it in a long time.
Excited about the universe.
Like, I can't wait for them to bring Batman in, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and Batman and Wonder Woman are James Gunn's priority right now. After this,
that's next.
Well, would you look at that? You made it to the end of the video. That means you really like us. So just go ahead and press that like button and subscribe while you're at it. And check out our other channels, our social media like Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon, where we have new stuff coming up all the time. And we'll see you on the next video.